Theater brings together many different types of people. Since the early years of Shakespeare, women weren't allowed to act on stage, and female roles were often played by male actors.
From cross-dressing to same-sex relationships, let's take a closer look at how our very own theater implements these roles into their department.
Queer representation has grown a lot in recent years, and it's important to create a space where young queer actors get to play roles that relate to themselves. Coppell High School theater director Karen Ruth brings us more.
I feel that so many of the students in our department that I have encountered, relate on some level or identify on some level as queer, and they need to be able to see themselves in roles. It is so important that we as educators bring that content, those ideas into our classroom too, because our students need to know that this is absolutely okay and acceptable and perfectly normal as well.
For LGBT youth, it's empowering to see themselves represented in the media they consume.
Seeing real and good queer representation in media normalizes it, and it makes, for both straight and queer people, it makes them both see that queer people really exist, queer stories exist, and it's not this one small fraction of society.
And I know representation's kind of said quite a lot, but when you have as a community have been oppressed for so many years, it's hard to see yourself, and seeing it up on screen or seeing it in just daily things kind of breaks that mold or gives someone to look up to.
I think queer and trans actors can bring more out of characters who are also queer and trans because they've actually lived those lives. When I see queer people, real queer people playing queer characters, it just makes me feel very seen. It makes me feel just really happy because it means that in my future, since I want to go in a creative direction, there's a space for me as a queer person.
After, being hiding a part of ourselves for so long and being able to be seen and have someone to look up to and to aspire to be, especially in media, I think that's really important because it's just oh hey, they're just like me.
For KCBY, I'm Sid Civicamo.
I love to see programs accepting people for who they really are. It really spreads a welcoming message.